Now record. So let's get started on the final expense training. First thing we want to go over is what you're going to need. If you're going to be out in the field selling final expense, or if you're going to be selling vacuum cleaners, you do have a list of things that you're going to need to bring with you or to be prepared. And the first thing is going to be training. Got to get some training in, whether it's the morning calls. It should be a combination of everything, really. Your training should consist of morning calls, Zooms, because we're doing Zooms all the time, just like this one, going on to mylifetraining.biz. And once we have the agent portal up, going on to that as well. So training is something that you should constantly be doing. We have so much there. You can go to One Life and even do training there on the One Life of America website. If you don't have it, go to onelifeamerica.com and register. Next thing is you need to know the approach. If you don't know what you're going to say when you walk up to a door, you have no business walking up to the door until you do know what you're going to say. So we have scripts for the approach on many different areas, in different websites, on the Google Drive. Your leaders can also tell you. I could tell you that I don't mind talking to anybody. I'll help anybody. So, but you need to know the approach, and we're going to get into that right here very shortly. You have to know the steps of the presentation. That's your instruction manual on the sale. If you don't have an instruction manual on the sale and you don't know what it is, it's kind of like jumping in your car saying, I'm going to California and going and having no clue how to get there. You don't have any kind of map. You don't have any kind of GPS going. You're just driving. And yeah, you might get there, but it's probably going to take you 5 times longer, maybe more. So you need to know the steps of the presentation. And again, we're going to get into that. You have to have leads. Leads are your bread and butter. Those are the things that you have on your store shelf that you sell. If you don't have leads, it's going to be very difficult to sell. Now, I've been doing this a pretty long time, and I know maybe 2 or 3 people out of the thousands that I've met that don't use leads, and they are very successful. But they've also been doing it 25 years and have a following. So it's not like they've never used leads. They just don't use them anymore. But at the same time, they're using other avenues to get their clientele. So mapping app, very important. Something where, I'm not talking about Google Maps. I'm talking about getting on your app store and downloading something like Road Warrior, something that might cost you a few bucks, but it's going to make you more efficient. And the $5 or $6, whatever it costs, I don't really know what it costs. The $5 or $6 or the monthly fee, whatever it is, you're going to make 100 times that back just because of that app. It's going to route you in the most efficient way to go in any area that you're in. So you've got to make sure you have a mapping or a routing app. It's very, very important. You need to have access to Google Drive. Everybody on this Zoom should have access to Google Drive. There is no reason not to. If you don't, you all should have my email also. Send me an email, send me a text saying, hey, Rob, I need access to Google Drive. I'll send it to you. Here's the caveat. You need to have Google Drive. If you don't have a Google Drive and you don't know how to set one up, call me. I'll help you do it. Okay? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And then access to the FEX toolkit, which most of you, if not all of you, should have already. So make sure you have access to the Google toolkit. The FEX toolkit. And that's going to be one of your major tools when you're in the field. And then last but not least, you need to have access to WhatsApp. You need to be in the WhatsApp and you need to be communicating. When you're in WhatsApp and you're communicating in that WhatsApp, if you ask a question, you're going to get responses really quick. And here's why, because people respond to people that they know, that they're familiar with. Even if they've never met you, if they've seen your name, they're going to respond to you. But if you're totally dead quiet on there, you don't participate, you're going to see people that just, you ask a question, they don't know who you are, and they're not going to jump in. They're going to wait for somebody else to handle it. So get on the Google, not the Google Drive, the WhatsApp, and make sure you're active on it. Okay, it's only going to help you. You got to remember, in any business, human nature is going to play a huge role in I guess in the success that you have. So it's human nature to kind of be to yourself a little bit, and you don't want to rock any boat. You don't want to make any waves, especially if you're new. You don't want to say something, and because you're new. But here's the thing, that's the best time to say something. That's the best time to get active, especially on the WhatsApp, is to let everybody know, hey, I'm here. You know what? This is so and so. This is Jasmine McCombs. I'm the baddest one of all. Just get out there and have a little bit of fun with it. People are going to get familiar with your name on that WhatsApp. And then if you do need somebody and you ask a question, you're going to get an answer really quick, because they're going to be very familiar with you. It's just human nature. So what you don't need now, this is I gotta tell you, this is something I was thinking about not putting in, but I said I absolutely have to. Gary, I promise you, knows what I'm talking about, because we get certain people on a regular basis that don't follow this. Okay, so let's see what number one is. The distractions. That's a huge thing, man. Distractions. You got to get rid of distractions. You cannot go in the field and have your head filled with pressure and stress. And here's the thing, and I mentioned this at our trainings. I actually mentioned it at all of our trainings that we do. And there's a reason I do that, because I want you guys to know, no matter who it is, that I've been where you're at if you're in that situation. So me and Jen, we've been on food stamps. We do so well because we relate to our customers so well. Back in 2007 and 2008, Jen, going into the store with the WIC card. Let me tell you something. You go from making six figures annually often to food stamps. That's something that'll humble you in a hurry, but it's a great thing. It really is a great thing for somebody to be humbled like that, because it allows you to understand how the other side is living, the pressures and the pains they go through, and you can relate to what they're going through. So I personally think that it's good for everybody at some point in their careers to go through that kind of struggle, because it makes you appreciate everything that you ever earn. You appreciate it a lot more, but you also empathize with what the others are doing. So distractions, I know the pressure of having those distractions, bill payers or bill companies calling, bill collectors, whatever you want to call them, and all that. I've been there. I've done it. It was a lot of pressure. But at the same time, I knew I couldn't go to work every day and make money with that pressure, because when you have pressure in your life, unless you find a way to compartmentalize it, it's going to show on your face, and you're not going to sell. You're going to get what they call commission breath, and that's the worst thing that you can have. People will stay clear and far away from you when it comes to that type of thing. So leave your distractions at home. I know it's not easy, but you can teach yourself how to do it. You don't need every carrier to go out. You need two carriers. AIG and anyone else, and you can go in the field. There is absolutely no reason for somebody to not to be in the field if they have two carriers. That's it.
I
You
see
don't
that.
need 15 carriers. You know what? You'll never use them. The average agent in this industry has 4 or 5.
You still some. That's not a
You don't need
secret.
15, you don't need 20. I have a lot, only because of the situation that I was in when I came to RAL. My contracts were all locked up.
It's true.
So you really need to make sure that you're maximizing yourself by getting in the field, forget every carrier, and you don't need to know everything. I've seen so many people start off and they tell me this, especially people that just passed the test. Oh, I got to study more. I've seen guys and ladies, they pass the test to get their license, and then they have to study more. And it makes no sense. I've seen people pass the practice exam and make it through that 3-day class that they used to have. I don't know if they still have them. And then tell us, oh, I'm going to study more for 2 more weeks. And bam, you know what? Me and Jen know. For every day that you avoid taking that exam, every day you delay, you lose 5 points. You lose 5 percentage points. So if you have an agent, and because you're all obviously licensed, but if you ever bring an unlicensed agent on, and they go and they take the class, and then they tell you, oh, I'm going to study for 2 weeks. I'm telling you right now, and I will bet you $100 that person will not pass the test. They would have if they took the test right away, but they will not pass that test because they want to study for 2 weeks. What do you think the class was for? The class was to prepare you to take the test right away. But the problem is your human memory does not hold information that long. I don't care how old you are. It doesn't retain that information that long. Information in the human mind gets distorted over time. And they've done many studies with this where I could tell so-and-so something. By the time so-and-so remembers exactly what I said, he's talking about cheesecakes to the person he's talking to instead of insurance. They just don't retain the information. They might remember a few key words, but they don't remember the information. And the same thing with insurance. You don't need to know everything to go in the field, because I'll be honest with you, if you are waiting to know everything before you ever go in the field, just get a job. Go get a job. You're never getting in the field. I've been doing this a long time, and I don't know everything. And I don't expect to know everything. So don't think that you're going to be able to learn everything. Don't even think that you're going to be able to learn most things. It took me 7 years to gain the knowledge I have. And I'm telling you that I'll tell you this, not everybody's like me. I have an obsession with things where when I want to learn something, I don't do it during working hours. I'm working, but I'm learning everything. After every time I door knock a house, every time I talk to somebody, I'm rehashing that in my head and saying, boy, I won't say that again. But I've been doing that for decades, no matter what I was doing. If I was going to a bar and meeting women, whatever it was when I was young, if I said something and it didn't work out, I'd be like, boy, you know what? I'm not saying that again. You know what? Next time I'll do this. But I'm always thinking that way. Not everybody is like that, but some are. And if you're like that, that's great. But don't think that you're going to need to know everything. You don't need to know anything. Our system is designed for somebody who doesn't know a thing. And that person is going to outright some of the most seasoned veterans that there are. Why would that be? Because they don't know any better. They don't know any better. They don't know that they're not supposed to succeed. They're not supposed to know that. And so you want to take advantage of that. That's a great thing to have. So don't think you need to know everything. Let's get into the meat and taters. And that's going to be the approach. First off, your approach starts off with a smile the second you get out of your car. I don't care if it's an appointment or not. And it could be an appointment, that's fine. If you're setting your appointments, or if you want to use one of our appointment setters, that's cool. Starting off with a smile, though, waving at the window even, right? Your approach has to be smooth and consistent. It can't be none of that. It's got to be smooth and consistent, like you say it at every house, because that's what it has to be. It has to be less than 8 seconds. After that, you're going to lose the client's attention, and they're really going to just pass judgment on you, and you're done. You might be able to get back another day, but you better prepare for that. That's all. Okay. So less than 8 seconds. Your approach probably be about 5 or 6, and it should be so nonchalant. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit. Okay. Next thing, it's got to be, like I said, the same at every door. Now, there is one exception that personally I make to that. If I'm working on a very old lead, I go up to the door. The only difference is I'm telling the client, no one came to your house, because I'm using that as a way to get rid of any future objection. See, as you start doing this longer and longer, you're going to become an expert at removing the objections before they become objections. You're taking away from those objections from the client before you even say a word, or before the client even says a word. You're taking it out of the way. So when I go to a house with an old lead, hey, Miss Samantha, my name is Rob. You sent this card in a little while ago. No one came to your house. I was just sent to make sure that you got the information you requested. Should only take about 5 or 6 minutes. Boom, that's it. Now, know the answers. She's going to ask me questions. Well, what's this about? Okay. They're always the same questions. What's this about? Where are you from? Who are you? What is this? Is this about insurance? They're all going to be the same questions. Okay. But your approach should always include the client's first name. Notice I said Miss Samantha, by the way. My name, Rob. Now, did anyone pick up that I did not say from Retirement Income Life, from Appel Financial Group, from anywhere? Because they don't care. They don't care. My name is Rob. You sent this card in. Okay. Client first name, your name, why you're there. The next thing I did was, you sent this card in. That's why I'm here. Okay. You sent this card in. Assignment to the client. I was asked to come out. That's exactly what I said. I was asked to come out and make sure you got the information you requested. And then, of course, I said the amount of time I need. Only takes 5-10 minutes. I think I said 5 or 6 minutes. It doesn't really matter. And I'll tell you a quick story on that too. Okay. So let me, actually, you know what? Let me, oh, I can't go back. I can go back, but I'm not going to. So in any case, when you're doing your approach, if you keep it, I'm going to go back just in case somebody needs to, just in case somebody wants to get back on that, or copy that. Okay. So I am going to go back. Okay. So guys, if you want to, just copy that down, be my guest and jot that down, and then I will certainly continue. Let me get this back up and going, if I can remember how to do it. Okay. Here we go, review. No, not review, present. There we go. So I do apologize for that. As a matter of fact, I'll get back to the thing we needed, or that I was at. Okay. Your approach should always include client's first name, your name, why you're there, assignment to the client, and the amount of time you need. Okay. And let's move on. Anybody have any questions on this so far? Okay. Next thing is the 5 steps to the presentation. So this is something else you need to know immediately. The approach you should know within your first couple of days of jumping on. So by the time you get all your contracts and you're ready to go out, you should know the approach. You should have worked on it with your upline. Call them, let them help you. Nobody's ever going to have a problem doing that. Being helped or getting help is never going to be an issue for anybody. Okay. If somebody gives you a hard time about helping you, you call me and I'll make sure that you get the help you need. Even if I do it, I don't care. I will help anybody. Okay. You have questions, you need help, you call me. I know Gary Keith, Jan, they feel the same way. You can call these people anytime and they will help. Okay. The 5 steps to the presentation, it's really 6. It really is. Rob Boyd started with 5, but I added 1. I actually added 2. So it's really 6 overall. I just crammed some in there. But in any case, let's get that started. Rapport. That's always step one, no matter what you're selling. You could be selling pencils. It's step one, building rapport with your potential client. That's building connection. Most people make the mistake of trying to do it in 5 minutes. In the car business, we had about 10 minutes to build a rapport. So if a client came into the finance office, you really did not have very long to build that rapport. You had to do it very quickly. If you didn't do it, they didn't trust you, because who trusts a finance guy at a car dealership? Nobody trusts a finance guy at a car dealership. Those are the guys that make all the money, and nobody likes them. So you had to make sure that you can build that trust or that rapport super quick. Here, it's different. You're in the client's home. They should feel comfortable with you there. So, but at the same time, you have to go out of your way and build that rapport with them, so they not only know that they can be comfortable with you, but that they can trust you. If you don't have the client's trust, but you have their respect, they will still look to replace your policy at some point in the near future. If they trust you, but they don't respect you, they are still going to replace your policy in the near future. If they trust you, they respect you, that means they like you. You have a best shot at keeping that policy long-term. So you just have to be who they want you to be. And that's going to come from asking questions during the rapport building. On one of my calls, I put together a list, and I could probably send that out, a list of questions that you can ask. When we do our May training, it's going to be, I want to say it's probably going to be in Orlando. I'm spilling the beans a little early. Jan's going to get on me about it, but I'm going to be going over that list of questions in detail. So, but these questions are designed to not only build rapport, but to investigate and try to find out as much about the client and their buying habits as, or even the people in their lives, as much as possible. So building rapport, it should not be less than 10 minutes ever, but it really takes as long as it takes. There's no time frame. It takes as long as it takes. You have to feel that connection with the client, and that's just going to come from experience. Next is transition. The transition for some is very complicated, but in reality, it's super easy. Okay. I just use the oops, ouch, uh-oh, which Gary might be familiar with, but it's simply, Ms. Samantha, when people send this card in, they send it in for one of three reasons. They either send it in because they have insurance, but they're paying too much. Maybe they have insurance, but they just want to get more, or maybe they don't have any. Why did you send it in? But when I say it, I'm not sounding scripted, and I'm even pausing at certain points to make it look like that I thought of it, because I don't want any part of my presentation to sound scripted. People don't like scripted. They like from the heart. And single people generally don't understand this. Parents will. When your child builds you or creates something or makes you a Christmas card or a birthday card or builds you a birthday present, creates a birthday present, it means so much more that they put that thought into it than going out and buying something for you. It really does. And so it's the same thing when you're talking to people. They want somebody who's sincere, that's talking from the heart, not scripted, not a robot. So just keep that in mind. Try to make sure that when you're talking to somebody and you're going through not just the presentation, but the approach too, or even setting the appointment on the phone, come across as you. Be you. Don't be a script. Just know what you have to say and say it in your words, and you'll have the most success that you could ever have. Okay, so the transition is super simple. The client's need. This sometimes is not very simple. Often it is.
What are y'all doing here together?
But many
Oh,
times
so
it's
y'all
not.
are the Three Stooges.
So just make sure that when you're talking to the client, you're digging into what their true needs are. And some questions are just very simple. You know, Miss Samantha, so were you looking for something just to cover you in case of, you know, burial or cremation, or were you looking for maybe to leave some family some little extra, or, you know, what was your goal with regards to, you know, what you're looking to get done? And they will tell you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the client doesn't know if you mess up. Okay, you just have to follow the steps. If you don't follow the steps, then, you know, that's messing up beyond repair. But if you at least follow the steps, but you screw up some of the words, that's not that big a deal. Okay, the client doesn't know what you're supposed to say. Next is the third party phone call. So you just got all the information from the client. They said, yeah, I got this policy, and maybe they even showed you their current policy, or you called the insurance company and you found out information on their policy. You found out what they're paying, how much coverage they have, how much cash value they have, how long they've had it, any loans on the policy. You found all that information out, let's say, and you say, you know what, Miss Samantha, I have a really good idea on what might be a great fit for you, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to call an expert. This guy is such a geek. He knows everything about the insurance industry. You know how some people are born to be baseball players? This dude is so nerdy. He was born to be an insurance man, but he knows everything about it. I'm going to go ahead and call him and see what his thoughts are. Okay. And so, bam, you just start dialing. Let's say I answer the phone. Okay. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Rob? This is so-and-so. I'm sitting here with Miss Samantha. She's got this kind of coverage for this much money. She's got these health conditions, being treated by these medications. Just want to get your thoughts on the situation, of what might be a way that we might be able to put her in a better situation. And then you're quiet, and I'm going to take over, or your leader, whoever you're calling, is going to take over, and they're going to go over the options that are there, the best option, and they're going to give you an assignment. They're going to tell the client why it's a great option for them, what the benefits are, and then they're going to give you and the client an assignment. And that's simply going to be, let's do this. Let's go ahead and see if we can get her approved with Baltimore Life. They offer these benefits, and it's let's say a dividend policy. Let's say it builds dividends. Let's say it's the A priority. Okay. They build dividends. You can use them one of three ways. Let's just go over that with her quick, show her pricing, and see if we get her approved. Sound fair? And boom, that's it. Yes, sir. Let's get that going. And thank you, Mr. Rob. And I'll say, all right, just let me know if you need any other help, and just let Miss Samantha know she can call me anytime. Okay. And boom. The reason I say that, and I say it a lot, is because clients or people in general love to have the phone number of the big guy. I'm not saying I'm a big guy, but in their head, I am. Okay. You go to a restaurant, and the manager of the restaurant's like, yeah, listen, anytime you need something, you let me know. Gives you his card. You're like, oh, all right. Yeah. You feel important. You feel special. And that's one of the biggest keys to making or getting somebody to purchase from you, is you make them feel special. Okay. That third party call is critical. If you're not making that third party call, you're losing thousands of dollars a week, all for ego, because that's usually why guys don't do it, is because of ego. Now, after you're doing this for, a year or so or whatever, you don't want to do it, that's up to you. But I'm telling you this, Taiwan Bond does it in every house. Linda Jenkins does it all the time. She's on right now, as a matter of fact. Linda's our top agent this year. Top agent. She's already done over $40,000. It's not even the end of February yet. Are you kidding me? But she does it in every house. All the top people do it in every house. Taiwan Bond, Ken Bond does it. Jan does it at every house. They all do it. Why wouldn't you? The only reason that people don't do it, I'm telling you, is ego. They don't need help. You ever see My Cousin Vinny at the end, Joe Pesci? He's all upset at Marissa Tomei because she helped him win the case of a lifetime. Oh my God. So yeah, you have to thank somebody. I'm telling you this, don't even thank me. I don't care. I just want to make you successful. So don't worry about me. But make this third party call. Don't be stubborn. It's critical. It is so critical. It builds, and it also builds credibility with your client. Okay. Next, show benefits, pricing, and close. Remember, during the call, I said, show them the pricing and let's see if we get them approved. Okay. So when you show benefits, pricing, and close, we're talking about the 3-option close, and I'm going to show that to you shortly. After that, you're going to post close. Well, what is post closing? Lester talked about it on Friday on his call, and he did a fantastic job with it, actually. Him and Matt both did a great job with it. Post closing is simply quizzing the client, making it fun. They're going to remember you more. The more interaction that you have, the more you make them laugh and smile, the more they're going to remember you. So you need to make sure that when you're post closing, you're making it a little fun. Right? Miss Samantha, I tell you what, let's have a little quiz. I'm going to ask you some questions. Let's see if you get them right. Okay. And she goes, yeah, okay. Bam. Ask, how much coverage did we get you? Okay. Okay. And how much a month? Okay. And when's the payment due? What day of the month? The 3rd. That's right. Great job. Great job. And what company is it with? All right. And you just do that kind of thing and you make it fun for the client. Heck, tell her, listen, if you get them all right, when I come back with the policy, I'll bring you some Krispy Kremes. They love Krispy Kremes. I bring them to people all the time. $10, who cares? Get them the Krispy Kremes. Get them half a dozen, spend 6. But it doesn't matter. It's just something they're going to remember you by. I have a guy, I asked the guy if he wanted Krispy Kreme's donuts. He's like, no, I'll have some beer. I said, what kind of beer? And it was a Corona Premium or something. And I said, sure. And I bought him 2 6-packs. What was his remark? You're the greatest insurance man ever. That dude will never forget me. What other insurance guy's bringing people a 6-pack or 2 6-packs of beer? What other people are bringing them donuts, Krispy Kremes that they love, right? Spend a few bucks. What's the big deal? It's gonna solidify your business. It's a good business move, and it's tax deductible. Anything you buy or anything you eat is tax deductible. Anytime you go out to lunch or something, save the receipt, deduct it on your taxes. Half of it, I think, is at minimum, half of it's deductible. Why wouldn't you save it? Okay. The 3-option close. Let's talk about this. This is something that we did in the car business. I bought it over here because it's incredibly effective. Okay. I show somebody this 3-option close and it's sold. I can't recall somebody not buying something once I got to this point. It was a done deal. Okay. And here it is. Oh, I'm going to tell you what it's about. So it shows benefits to the clients. Okay. It builds value in those benefits. And it presents 3 separate premium options. Boom, there's your 3-option close. Okay. If you notice on the left, I show face value. I show the accidental, the terminal illness, the chronic illness, and the critical illness if you have critical illness on there. Okay. And then I'm showing the premium at the bottom. Now, when I present this, I'm saying, Miss Johnson, there are 3 options here for you: 10, 20, and 30,000. The first one is $10,000 of face value. That means that any reason that you pass away, it pays out $10,000 no matter what. Boom. But if something happened to you as a result of an accident, it would double the coverage. So now this is worth $20,000. And heaven forbid your life goes sideways and you need to use the terminal illness rider or the chronic illness rider that we talked about earlier. You'll get $5,000 for each one of those. You'll be able to take out $5,000 of the policy to help you out. And I said, you never want to use those now, just simply because if you do, that means something in your life went sideways and something's not good. So you never really want to use those unless you need to. But I'll tell you this, you're going to be glad you got them if you ever need them. And they always agree. Okay. Then I say, this is what the premium is at the bottom. And we could start that on the 3rd of next month on March. Then you have 20,000 with 20,000 of accidental. That means this could be worth up to 40,000. And you have $10,000 on your riders. And that's the premium for that one. And then on option 3, you have 30,000. So this could be worth up to $60,000 for your family if something happens to you. And then, of course, you have $15,000 on the riders. Now, premiums start on March 3rd. You're getting back $1,276 from the other policy. You'll have me for life. I'm going to be here for your family when you're not able to be. I will be here for your family. That's my promise to you. Okay? So which one of these options work best for you? And they're going to sit there and stare, and you do not say a word. This is what Lester was talking about in his training he did a little while ago. You don't say a word. The first one to speak loses. And the client will say, you know what? I'll take that one. And 90% of the time, they're pointing to option 1. The rest, they're pointing to option 2. It's rare that you get option 3 right out of the gate. But if the client has insurance, you can sell any one of them to them, right? If the client has insurance and they're paying $98 a month, I'm not showing them an option 1 that low. That's where I'm starting. That's where my option 1 is starting, is going to be wherever they're paying maybe $10 more a month. That's where I'm starting. Okay. Then my option 2 and 3 is going to be more insurance. If I'm showing Baltimore Life, I'm making sure I'm showing, hey, listen, this policy builds dividends too, right? I'm listing this stuff. Now, I have this typed out. I handwrite this in front of the client. So take a picture of this screen and just make sure you keep it on your phone. So in case you forget, you want to be able to show 3 options to the client. And you need to, this is important. Start learning the percentages that these carriers allow for their living benefits. Mutual of Omaha allows 80%. Okay. Not American, it's either AmAm or Prosperity. They allow 100% on terminal illness, 100%. I think it's Prosperity. Okay. You have to go through these carriers and learn. I have everything in the Google Drive. You can just go there and check it out. But you need to learn that stuff. Okay. Any questions on this? One thing I did want to drop in there as well. Down at the bottom, you see where it says, if the client has existing insurance, sell the difference. So, for example, let's say the client's current policy is $47.29. Well, I'm telling her, listen, Miss Samantha, for $3.89 more, you can have this one, and you get back to $1,200. Doesn't that make sense? And you nod your head. Your body language is going to be a powerful tool when you're sitting with a client. If you don't try to guide them to make the right decision, and I truly mean the right decision, regardless if it's beneficial to you or not, you need to guide them. These people that do final expense, historically, they're so used to making bad decisions. They don't even know what a good decision is. I sat with a guy today that me and Taiwan wrote up years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, with GCU, which you can't even get that policy anymore. Guy had 20,000 for $120 or something. Well, this other IMO that I am very familiar with, as is Gary and Jan and Linda and many other people, went in there and canceled that policy on him, wrote him another one. So Taiwan went back in, wrote him an AmAm for less than what he was paying with the other one that this other company gave him. They went and replaced that and didn't even tell the guy they canceled it. And they stuck him with a $189 payment, because there are a lot of unethical IMOs out there. You have to start really guiding your clients and making sure that you're putting them in a position where they know what they have they know not to let anybody in the house, and they're not going to be able to be told that their policy doesn't have chronic illness, terminal illness. They're not going to be able to told that their policy is not in force because they know it's not the truth. So, and by going over this stuff with the client, making sure that, they have the thing that's right for them, again, whether it's beneficial to you or not, that's something you have to do. So to get that done, yes, use your body language. It's very important. Nod your head. If it's right for them and you want them to think it's right and you want them to see it's right and you want them to feel it's right, nod your head. They're going to agree with you because you are the expert. Even if you're not, you are still the expert. Okay. Any questions on that slide? Okay. Any questions on any of this stuff at all? It was a 45-minute training. I hope that helped people. Can somebody come off and at least give me some input? If you have any questions, if you need my help with anything.
This is
That was,
good.
yeah, that was an amazing training, and I liked how you talked about nodding your head. Sometimes I forget to do that, so that was perfect. Thanks for that general reminder.
Yeah. Now, listen, I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, but there's an old saying, I forgot more than you know. Well, the reason that it's a saying is because as we get older, we do forget some of those little things that we used to do. I mean, I forget a lot of that little stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I think it was my buddy Mark. We were talking about cars, and I used to work on engines all the time. I was like a guru with car engines. And he mentioned something to me. I said, dang, yeah, I forgot all about that. So, yeah, it's very common that people will forget those little things. And it's good to have something like this to remind us. So anybody else with any questions? Anyone, any comments or questions? Okay.
Do you leave delivery notices?
Yeah, I do. I didn't today because I didn't have my jacket on me, and I got them in my pocket of my jacket. But yeah, I do. And because they're going to call back. I don't know if you've used them. I'm sure you have. But the client will usually call back. And what a great way to set an appointment. Getting them on the phone like that where they call you, right? Now, they still don't know who you are. So even if they say, nah, forget about it. Doesn't matter. Still, you go over their house. They don't know who they talk to. They have no clue. You just go over their house and it's all good. Okay. So now I have these delivery notices. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see these things. There they are. Okay. You get these free. You get them free from One Life. So that's why I say if you haven't been on the One Life site, get on it and get some of those free notices. They'll send you, I think, three pads at a clip. Go ahead and do it because every other IMO they're charging for those things. Anybody else? Any questions? If not, I appreciate everybody coming on tonight. That's for sure. So it shows me that you guys want to win. And Damien's killing me with those ribs sitting there on his screen like that. That's messed up. Not cool, bro. Not cool. They look good. So anybody else? Let me just see who else is on here. Joe Tisler. I'm assuming that. I think that's Kenyon. Rick Olson. Any questions, Rick?
Oh, we're all good, my friend. That was a great training. Thank you.
Awesome. So, all right, guys. So listen, I hope this helped. Any questions, you can reach out to me or Gary or Jan anytime. You know that. More than happy to help you any way we can. This is one thing I will say to the people that haven't gone out, or maybe the guys that have, or the ladies that have gone out. If you want to practice your approach or your presentation, some of the things, or you want to chat, reach out to us and say, hey, listen, just wanted to get your thoughts on this, or use us, let us help you, okay? Because our goal is to make sure everybody here is successful and reaches the top. So guys and ladies and gentlemen, I should say, you have an awesome night. I really do appreciate everybody jumping on with me tonight. and let me know if I can help you in any way. Okay. Have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.